very long time, a lot of people have kept their children away from school because of the fear of the unwanted, of the unknown. Uncertainty is so palpable. And as a thought leader, as a spiritual leader, and as a social crusader, I stand in the shoes of many people. I feel the pain. The buck stops here. Everybody is pastor this, pastor that. My men are here. A lot of my men are working with you. A lot of my men are on your team. Because we have been troubleshooting everywhere. Is either blood IDP or economic IDP or flood IDP, all kinds of crises that we have found ourselves. I'm at the receiving end with other well-meaning people in society who share values for human life and so in the last couple of months, I have had the uncomfortable assignment of sending people forth out of Benue. A lot of people are relocating out of Nigeria. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just yesterday, a family, we sent them forth out of the country from this congregation just on Sunday. Just Sunday. Because people want to ensure that they are alive first. They are alive. This makes an Omoyele. This makes Omoyele a voice that is coming as a soothing relief to our souls, our pain at a time like this. So you have come in the heat of our crisis. You have come at a good time, and it is a joy to have you here. Personally, I've been following you. I've been a student of leadership in Nigeria from the days of a long time ago. And then some of the values that we live by in House on the Rock, as established by the Metropolitan Senior Pastor, Paul Adeolu Adefarasi. Pastor Paul is about equity and justice, social justice, distribution of good life to people. And because we are representing the same brand in Benue, we continue to promote these values. Yeah. Without saying so much, we want to say thank you for
no doubt that our path is crossing for the first time, but not for the last time, because we're about to witness a revolution in this country. Yes, and that revolution, I have no idea what form it will take, but I am not, of course, for any violence. But something is telling me that something got to give in this country. And whether it's in the Benue, in Plateau, any of those places where people are living, whether in the valley or the mountain, something will give. Because we've reached that point where the chains are broken, almost free, just need a little bit of push. And that's why it's encouraging to hear you speak about the history of Benue and your place in it at this time. And the courage at this time to even stay back is something that's very, very, very exciting and encouraging to me. We were supposed to come yesterday, and everybody we met, and we could advise us, say, don't go to Benue anytime after anything that will take you beyond Lafayette at 6 p.m. We said, don't try it. On our way here, we went to a refugee camp. I call it a refugee camp because people have become refugees in their own country. The description they give it is internally displaced people. If people are internally displaced, they don't stay in a refugee camp. They stay at a temporary shelter where they return home. These ones have no date of return, so they're refugees. And if you are in your country and you are displaced, and the United Nations have to be taking care of you, you are a refugee.
Yes, very true.
Yes. If your case has to be treated by international bodies, international doctors, and in some cases even the international feeding agencies are sending food to Nigerians inside of Nigeria. That's a refugee situation. But I promise, and I'll say it again here, that they're about to return home. But for those people to return to their ancestral homes and farmlands, some other people have to retire home too. So that's the only way. Because these are two things that are happening diametrically. For as long as those people remain in power, the internally displaced people cannot go back home. Because they are the ones who displaced them in the first place. Deliberately. Yes. They were deliberately displaced. This is organized attack on identity, as you mentioned. It's organized that, not on our own. It's not only that people are being displaced, their identities are being wiped out. Their names are being changed. Their villages are being renamed. So, if it's not organized, it couldn't have been so easy to do.
Yeah, very true.
Yes. So that's the promise we've made. It's not a threat. It's a promise that must be fulfilled come February 2019. Or whichever day that they postpone the election to, because I don't rule it out that they'll postpone the date of the election again. But whichever date, we are going to free our people. We met Jerry Rawlings in Ghana.
So we did.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And he made some statements to us behind closed doors. He said, I see a future for Nigeria because young people like yourself who have done so well, this is quoting him, should have had the upper hand. We shouldn't be discussing whether we win or lose. We have a problem in Nigeria. Your people are still in love with their oppressors. Yes. Our hearts sank.
Wow.
When he said that. And he said another thing, which is very interesting. He said, I'm a Ghanaian. I love Ghanaians, but I don't respect them. I don't really like Nigerians, but I respect them. We couldn't just understand what he meant until he went further to say that Nigeria has in its possession 40% of Africa's political power.
That's it.
And if it exercises just 20% of it. So not only are you guys going to be doing so well, we here in Ghana and the rest of Africa will be doing so fine. And that was the message we brought back home. And our platform, our campaign is the first to make those kind of international contacts. We are not saying that we need international bodies to determine for us who to vote for. But we need exchange of ideas and of history, rich history, between our nation and some leaders who have seen our own leaders. He says some other things that we can't even say in public about some of our leaders. The bottom line is that Nigeria is in this condition today because it was designed by our leaders. And they are holding on to the destiny of Nigeria. They are sucking away and sucking off the oxygen of progress in the country. And until we break their hands loose, we are not going to see. You will be surprised that as long as they don't have the old man in Abuja there next year, the killings here will stop almost immediately. I am not saying that he started it. We know that it has history.
That's right.
But there's an embodiment that this kind of callous activities take when there's some special kind of hydrogen that is fueling the vehicle of genocide.
Very correct.
That's what we're saying. And the moment there's a change of baton, there'll be a change of order. Yeah. As a friend of mine would say with his glasses, there's order everywhere. There's order in hell, there's order in heaven. The only problem is that in hell, order is the last law. In heaven, order is the first law.
That's it.
Yeah. So we will restore order as the first law in the places that have been made hell for our people. Particularly the people of Benue, Taraba, Nasarawa, and Plateau. And by extension, Adamawa, by extension, the people of Nigeria. So those ones particularly needed. They're in need of help, and we promise that help is on the way. We continue to seek your assistance and your support, and continue to encourage you to be bold and courageous, because you are not alone. And we'll give whatever support we can to ensure that whatever is necessary is done to free this country. We hope we will do so hard to us or with us reciprocally.
Thank you, sir. I'm aware of the fact that you came in today. The big moment is in.
Yes.
I want to believe that the people have started making their way to the venue already. I do not intend to keep you any longer, but I must deliberately appreciate you for finding time to come to connect with us, and particularly for being here today. House on the Rock, we believe in doing what is right. We believe in the values of excellence, distinction. We believe in finesse, dexterity, and that is why Pastor Paul has even encouraged one of his sons, your friend, Fela Duro Toye, to run. I saw particular operation you people carried out at the airport the other day to help further add to the story of taking it back and inspiring a new Nigeria. I want to encourage you, sir. I want to encourage you. There is no doubt anybody who is familiar with the man Sowore will know that he has a system of self-motivation and some sort of weird kind of inspiration that he gets, because the man does not back down. The man takes no for an answer. If he believes in a cause, he will pursue it. As a matter of fact, I've heard in some big quarters that if Sowore needs this from you, just give him and avoid trouble for your life. Just avoid trouble for your life. But to be honest, we are students of history. We don't forget. It is not today. From the days of June 12th, you have been at the forefront from Unilag. The pictures have emerged, the details have emerged. History has been fed to you, and the history books have been fed to you to tell that indeed this man is not a victim of unguided exuberance. This man, he is committed, he is concerted, he is purposeful, he is determined, he is dogged, he is passionate about what he wants to achieve. We have seen it. I've preached in the church again and again. Please do not give power, responsibility to the oldest son of the family. Give it to the man with capacity to deliver. Give it to the man with track record, a history of competence. Do not give it to a man who is honest but with zero capacity and competence. He will honestly and sincerely destroy the organization. He will run you aground. We have traced your story. We can tell. From that time to today. From the days when we got into our democratic Nigeria, 1999 till date, that saw to the death of the student union government in Nigeria because of fat monies, and the SUG in Nigeria died, gradually dying. But we have seen that there are certain elements, there are certain pedigrees that are a new breed of Nigerians without greed. And I believe you are one of such breed.
Take it back.
I am here. I'm on ground. I watch the events unfold, how helplessly Nigeria was. But it was a Sowore who deployed his machinery to continue to tell Nigerians that the Shehu Yar'Adua administration is almost in comatose. And this is the truth of the matter. And things began to emerge. Nigerians doubted you, but later, I wouldn't want to put it the same way I put it to the team here, that death proved you to be true, that the things you were saying was correct. And by so doing, on the account of your activities, we saw to a smooth transition of a faithful and loyal vice president emerge as president. You had a hand in that smooth transition. And for what you were, you helped to build and install, once you became uncomfortable that the wheel and we are not being driven to where we ought to go, you stood up again. We brought this thing into power, but this is not how it ought to be. And we saw to the end of that era in 2015 that by reason of your activities and other concerted and committed Nigerians, that administration was humbled to her knees. And there was a new that was birthed on the tripod of, on the account of change, standing on 3 tripods. And once you perceive that the tripods have been eliminated because on all 3 counts there is gross failure, you rose up again. This is a story of objectivity. This is the story of a man who is rational, who cannot be bought over by sentiment and emotions that are unfounded and baseless. We have seen that you are a man who focuses on the matter. You play the ball. Why should any Nigerian not want to support your cause? So I have said all of these things to say that with you and other people of like minds in the race, it is a new day for Nigeria, and we can only believe God for the best. At our level, what we're doing right now is to, we are on a campaign for our parishioners and Benue sons and daughters to go and get a PVC, to be able to vote. No matter what you say, unless you have it, you don't have a voice. That is your voice. So that's what we're doing at the moment. You have the assurances of our highest support and commitment and prayer, and it is our prayer that you will not go down.
Amen. Amen.
The intimidations, the fights, the threats will not make you quit. God will fortify you.
Amen.
Will give you grace to stand.
Amen.
Most importantly, I pray for health
Amen.
to your bones.
Amen.
And your marrows.
Amen.
Right? I pray for sound mind.
Hallelujah.
For God to grant you sound mind always.
Amen.
Watchman Nee, he said God gave him a horse to deliver a message, but he strangled the horse before he reached his destination. And he just said that proverb referring to himself. He said that on the eve of his death, just before he passed, he knew it was his time. He knew he had not done well with his health. He had not attended to his health very well, and he could tell that God was not done with him yet, but his body cannot sustain his vision anymore. And he was saying to encourage a lot of young people, Watchman Nee made impact, but as a young Chinese evangelist, he died at the age of 30-something. He died under 40. His impact, just imagine, at 30-something, he had made impact. And today, thousands of people, ministers, pastors, are reading, are divulging his materials and following his examples. Imagine if he lived till he was 70 or 80. Yeah? So that's why I pray for you much more. And then to the team that are here, most importantly, the team is everything. And whilst I speak to you, I speak to every man, every woman that's on your team. Omoyele Sowore is a new breed of a politician without greed. I know for you to have come thus far, you are selfless, you are sacrificial. Sometimes it can be daunting, a challenge. Sometimes it can be hard. Sometimes it can be tough. You've left your families, you've left your other endeavors, but this is, change cannot happen without sacrifice. Change cannot happen without sacrifice. By following this man who dares to dream, who places ears on the chest of God to catch a word, the heartbeat of God for his generation, you are following him. There is a reason I'm here. I'm serving. I'm follow. I'm a boy. I'm serving Pastor Paul Adeolu Adefarasin, and both of us are serving Christ. All right? But this is what I believe, and I want to share it with fellow young people who are following this true Nigerian today, that it is better for you to be a small part of a big thing that is going somewhere to happen than to be the big part of a small thing that is going nowhere or that may be stranded in the end. We're taking it back.
Yes.
Take it back.
Take it
Action.
back. Take it back. Take it back. Take it back.
We can't take it back unless we, the constituent element, come to this basic understanding that the spotlight may not be on me. I may not have the glitz, the glamour, the pomp, the pageantry may not be on me, but I'm part of history. I'm part of history. I mean, Nelson Mandela, he went down, but there are lieutenants that joined forces with him to rescue Africa. The same with what happened, the revolution that's happening in Dubai right now. The same with Lin Kuan Liu. The same with Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Any true revolution, renaissance, change, revival, crusade that births a change that is enduring is not void of sacrifice, commitment at some point at the expense of life. So I want to applaud the rest of you much more.
Thank you.
I want to applaud the
Thank
rest
you
of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
I'm honored. And if we can share a word together in prayer,
Okay, sir.
even though we've been praying in the course of talking.